Hey y'all, happy Monday. Welcome to this episode of The Creative Cast. So today is a very special episode. The reason I'm so excited about this is twofold. One, I'm having my very first guest on the show. Number two is I am having one of my dear friends and sister in Christ, Ashley Henriott, on the show today. Now, when I first decided to do an episode based on Instagram and TikTok, as usual, most of the episode ideas come from questions that I get from Instagram users or email or current clients. And I thought, well, I don't know much about TikTok, but I do know someone who does. And that is my friend Ashley. Now, Ashley is a wife and mom of 3 boys and a little girl. So yes, 4 kids. And she also has a beautiful chocolate lab named Bailey. She's a former teacher who is now a stay-at-home mom. And she's also the host of Motherhood Unfiltered. This girl is the queen of all the TikToks. And she consistently and hilariously puts real life in the reels. So without further ado, here's my conversation with Ashley. Welcome, Ashley.
Hey, what's up? I'm so excited to be here. We almost didn't make it when we were trying to get all this together, and I was a little concerned, but here we are. It's gonna be great. I'm excited.
It's awesome. Tech is just a little blip on the radar. It's all good.
Tech has bipolar disease. I hope nobody takes that personal.
No.
No point intended.
So I have to say, your Instagram reel, the one I saw the other day, now, of course, we are recording this in early June and this will air later on, but I felt like you were in my head because it was the reel you did the other day about being on speakerphone and how you shouldn't be. Like, I'm not the type of girl that should be on a speakerphone. That's totally me.
It's totally me too.
That is why we get along so well, I think. Truly. So let's just start, since this is a podcast about podcasting, let's just start. So actually, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am just a hot mess mom, okay?
Aren't we all?
I decided with my hot mess, who loves Jesus, that I was going to be able to walk in my calling and just be who I am, because ultimately that's what resonates with me in the season that I'm in.
Yeah.
Plus, God obviously was like, hey, Ashley, it's time to walk into your calling. And I believe with that, calling is different than purpose. If moms are listening to this, like, we have a purpose, but our calling changes.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
My calling had changed. So I am an Enneagram 3, and we've talked about that a little bit. I don't like to keep myself in that box because I feel like we're all a little bit of everything. I am all achiever. Don't tell me I can't do it. I'm going to get things done. So I went all in. I wrote a book in 6 months. I started a podcast that I changed the name 3 times. And I just kind of went with God, what he asked me to do. I was going to go through every door and just hope that he closed the ones that I wasn't supposed to go in.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. COVID started, and my podcast, which is now Motherhood Unfiltered, was actually imperfect. And I
didn't. Yeah. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was called Imperfect People Following the Perfect One. And then my book at the time was called Impactful, which is now changed. And we're still really taking our time with that because it's super raw. Mm. And I'm grateful for amazing editors because that is not me. I'm the type of person that spells you're wrong. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. COVID started and we're all stuck in the house. I have 4 kids and they are 11, 9, 5, and almost 2, 3 boys, 1 girl.
Good Lord bless you, girl. Ashley.
Yes, girl. I was just singing. It's so crazy how this happened, but I was just singing this song in my house because it's my personality. And I was just like, y'all gonna make me lose my mind up on her. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know this app. And it was actually called Musicali at the time that has music. I'm like, we're gonna make a video and post on Facebook. We're just gonna make everybody laugh because what else can we do during a time of a pandemic and crisis? And
Pandemic's dumb. That's all I have to say about that.
well, I made the video, it blew up, and I made more, and then they blew up, and I'm like, okay. And I was so excited because ultimately I just got to be myself, and I was like, hey, people like me. What is that? And then I just kind of went with it, and I got connected with a lot of amazing people. And one of those people that I've talked to that we're mutual friends with is Allie. And I've talked to her for years. She's always inspired me. She's the one that pushed me to write my book.
We love Allie. You and I are like the Allie fan club over here.
Yes. Well, I did not tell her about my TikTok life. And I kind of kept that a secret.
Yeah.
Like, it's really nothing. Like, I'm not going to tell people that I'm on a teenager's app. Like, people are going to think I'm crazy. Anyway, so she became ultimately my business coach, who also introduced me to my editor of my book. It was just so amazing. Who was also her best friend. It was just totally God. The timing was great. And Allie found out about my TikTok life, and then we pushed it. And then that became my major platform, which went into Instagram, which also blew up. And I was like, okay, God has got a plan. So that's where I really perfected what God had called me to do. That's where Motherhood Unfiltered was born, my podcast. I love it. I have fun on there. Motherhood Unfiltered is for moms and women and wives who feel like they never measure up,
and I think a lot of moms feel that way. I mean, you could be absolutely killing it and you're doing all the right things. And then you sit there and you go, am I doing all the right things?
Yeah.
Am I teaching my children all the things that they need to know? Am I being the right role model for them? Am I showing them these are the things that they could do? And you just, everybody else sees it, but you don't see it. And that's what I love about Motherhood Unfiltered is you're kind of shining a light on that.
Right. That's my mission. Like, you'll see it on my Instagram. I always say, because in Instagram, a TikTok is a reel. So I always say, I keep life real in the real. And so I kind of like put those things together because my heart, my passion is that your identity, your worth, your confidence isn't found in your circumstances.
Right.
It's not found in your mothering. It's not found in being a wife. It's not found in being a friend. It's not found in your past, in your future, in your present. It's found in Christ. And so when we get lost or distracted in finding our identity in those things and they let us down, we question ourselves.
Right.
And that's not of God. If God loves us to love ourselves, even in our mess. I always tell people, and that is my mission on Motherhood Unfiltered, is that I am a mess and I'm honest about it. I am real. This is who I am. This is the seasons of life I'm in. I'm very transparent because it doesn't identify me. And also, it doesn't mean that I'm not striving to be more like Christ every day.
Right.
There's real struggles. My message isn't, this is how you are successful from A to Z. My message is, hey, you ain't alone, girl. We're in
exactly.
And so that's where Motherhood Unfiltered was born. And that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's about moms feeling like they're failing, or they feel alone, or they feel like they're misunderstood because we live in a culture of social media that shines perfection and success, which isn't true all the time. It's a highlight reel.
It is.
So Filtered is to encourage, her. I always think about one person, and it's to encourage her, and that the mom who feels that way isn't alone. And secondly, that we all mess up. We're all screwed up in the head. That's why somebody had to die for us. Hello. We're so Jesus had to die for us. Come on.
Bless it. Bless it.
And that there's no hand guide in how to be a perfect mother or a perfect woman or a perfect Christian. But listen to me. And our mission is to shine a light for Jesus, not on ourselves. And if it ever becomes about ourselves, we're going to let people down. Not only ourselves, but we're going to let people down.
Right.
And so, it's for the mama with the busy toddler who makes her question her life decisions. Like, I just really get specific in who I always envision the person that I'm talking to, because I want her to feel what? Not alone, and for her to feel seen. And sometimes that isn't like this whole giant message of Christ. Sometimes it's just a TikTok or a reel that says, don't put me on speakerphone because I'm going to yell and I'm going to scream and maybe a curse word's going to come out my mouth. Homie.
Yes.
And that makes her feel like, wow, that girl loves Jesus and she's a mess. I thought I
Mhm.
was alone. That's always been the response that I get. And that tells me I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, I absolutely love listening to it. In full disclosure, I do edit.
I'm all honest
Ashley's,
about that too. Like I said, we got some great editors out there.
but I absolutely love listening to it. I love the realness and the authenticity, as well as the stories. Because one of the things I tell clients all the time is everybody has a story to share. So tell yours.
Yeah.
Just because your life is similar to somebody else's, it doesn't mean you have the same life experiences, you went through the same things. I mean, we all have struggles. We all have different seasons of life, and some are peaks and some are valleys and some are just kind of the flat road in Iowa. But there's always a story to tell, and you never know what part of your story is going to either change someone's life or go, you know what? Me too. I'm in
Mhm.
that same place. It may be something that happened to you previously, and that person is in the thick of it right then and there, and they can go, oh, it does get better. The thing about it is that everybody can use not necessarily advice. This is what happened to me. This is what I went through. This is how I got through it. And you never know what's going to help somebody. The one thing I love that you is who you're talking to, and I think that's so important when you're creating a podcast, because a lot of the audience and listenership here are people who either have just started or are thinking about getting started. And I love that you defined one specific person who you're talking to, because I think the why is just as important as the reasons. Oh, I want to create a podcast and I want to do this and I want to do that. But when you get into like episode 300, you might lack that passion for it, and your why is going to be keep coming back. So I love that you touched on that point.
That's a good point too. Yeah. I mean, everybody wants purpose.
Mm-hmm.
God designed us to be programmed that way.
Absolutely.
We don't direct it. First off, at him, and him take us through that whole journey of who we are just in him and how that should be enough.
Mm-hmm.
Our lives don't reflect that surrender. We're always going to be wanting to fill that void. And
Right.
so I feel like we live in an entrepreneurship culture, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants to do something big on their own way. And I don't want to minimize that. Like, yes, you can do anything. Like, I started this podcast with zero money. I started a TikTok with zero money. I was just obedient. What did God call me to do? Not necessarily what Ashley wanted to do. And that took a little bit of time
Mm-hmm.
because, again, my personality, and I think everybody's programmed to be a little selfish because of sin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like I felt it. I had a lot of help along the way, though. At first, it was just imperfect. It was just for people that felt alone. But I
Mm-hmm.
had to I was challenged by Allie and by Carol and by all these amazing people, by you, to
Mm-hmm.
get really specific about, well, who is that imperfect person who's watching me? And when I sat back and I really thought about her, she's a mother and a wife who's behind on laundry, who maybe has 30 minutes to listen to a podcast every other week, and loves Jesus, but wants to go deeper, but she feels overwhelmed and alone and never good enough. Why would she? She still struggles with the approval from other people. And so I just kind of think about her. I get really specific. So all of my messaging around Motherhood Unfiltered is directly for her.
So good.
And that's the thing, like, and if I can add too,
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Go ahead.
it's not all deep and it's not all laughter. It's like a balance. You have teenagers. And so I want to serve that mom too. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
And I want to shine Jesus through all of it. And so I always say it's for the mama with the busy toddler who makes her question her life decisions. It's for the mama with teenagers that are hitting a defiant stage and she fears they won't come back to the Lord. It's for the mama who just wants to laugh and reminds herself because, that she's allowed to laugh because her kids are out of the house. And it reminds her what it's like to be a mom. It's that mom whose nest is empty and wants to relive all that overwhelmness because she kind of misses it. It's that mom too. It's for all moms, all wives, all seasons of life. And it's the message around all of it is that we can love Jesus, love being a mama, and hate parenting sometimes.
Yeah.
Along the way, but never having to feel alone in any of it.
Exactly.
That's my message through all of it, not just Motherhood Unfiltered, but in everything. And I hope I deliver that extremely well.
So you mentioned the book, and I do want to talk about the book because the book was part of the driver of the podcast and all the other things that you wanted to do. So I know the book is written and it's in the editing phase. Can you share anything about the book and kind of what's going on with that? I'm dying to read it.
Yeah. So the book is actually really deep. It's like, it's a really deep, raw part of my life. And I'm an open book. But yeah, that's why I started the podcast. Was like, hey, I'm going to use every single avenue to get this book out. And starting a podcast was one of them. And God's like, slow down a bit, Ashley. Let's get real excellent at all of these avenues. So I just went for it. That's my personality.
Yeah, definitely.
And I wanted to create a really realistic podcast for women and moms. And it went into a totally different direction. And that's God, right?
Right.
But about my book, so I can't give people like a lot of it, but the book is about foundational lies. So the book is built around a house, right? And you know how if you were to ever go build a house, or if you were to ever go buy a house, especially with the market crazy, so I'm sure this relates with a lot of people.
Right, exactly. It's nuts right now.
You work so hard to have this really great house, and you walk into the house and you flip the switches and the power's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, dang, like I just have this wonderful house on the outside. It looks amazing, but the inside is not working. The refrigerator's not working.
Everything's falling apart.
Everything's falling apart. Like the stove's not working. And that's us, right? So it's about childhood trauma. And I came from a background of childhood abuse, trauma, molestation. I was homeless on the streets. I should be dead. Like literally, if it wasn't for my kid, which only gave me worth at the time, I would be dead right now. And so it's about how God breaks down that wall of that broken house. Mm-hmm. He breaks down all of that stuff and he rebuilds a really foundational, sturdy home that is excellent, that is worthy, that is amazing. And so the way I take people through that foundation in my Father's house, right? And it's about finding true home because we moved a lot when we were younger. When I was young, we moved a lot. We didn't have any stability. Right. And so I always recognize my trauma with homes. So this move, recently, it's so triggering to me. And God is really having me work through some things with that. And I'm grateful for it. It's about that. It's about being rebuilt. And I take people through my past. And I take people through disappointments and things that have happened to me and how God rebuilt all of those things. And I identify the foundational lies that I told myself through my whole life. And then I give them the foundational truth of Christ and what built and got rid of those foundational lies. And so ultimately it's about foundation. And I'm truly excited because I get to be goofy and I get to be expressive about my mess and I get to be transparent only because I know who I am in Christ. My foundation isn't built on a lie in which my past tried to tell me that I am. It's built on the truth of Jesus. And I always tell people, hey, what's up? I'm busy breaking generational curses. So you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so good, Ashley. And I have to say, I am so proud of you for writing this book. Okay, I'm not going to try and make anybody cry because that's not what we do here. But I have to say, it takes a lot of bravery and courage to say, these are my flaws. These are my issues. I'm so excited for you as your friend for this book to come out. I cannot wait to read it. And good for you. So switching gears just a bit, I want to talk about, because I'm all about the practical here on the podcast. Just a couple episodes ago, I talked a lot about how to promote your podcast and the different ways that you can do that. And I know a lot of people are starting to use, at least for the demographic of our listenership, a lot of people are using Instagram. That I think it's like 75 to 80%. So what advice do you have for those that want to start utilizing Instagram per se, or maybe even TikTok too, on how to use those platforms to start to promote their podcasts? And
I would definitely also, can I add, use TikTok. It would be dumb not to.
Mhm.
If you're looking into starting a podcast, if you're looking into starting any type of business,
Mhm.
make a 15-second video. And can I be real for a second? Because we're talking about practicality. Nobody's reading a blog anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest with you. Like,
Mhm.
people are in a hurry. Life is insane.
Mhm.
They want to laugh. They want to smile. They want to know they can do it. And they want to know they can do it in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Make a 15-second video. You can put yourself out there, because ultimately that's what you're doing. If you want to start a podcast, if you want to have
Mhm.
this platform, you're going to have to promote yourself, girl. And it would be dumb not to take advantage of that. So my advice for others who want to utilize TikTok, and that is my biggest question. People ask me that all the time.
Yeah.
I should start charging for it. Real life. Like, I'm
Really? Seriously?
start charging y'all for utilizing TikTok and Reels as part of their promotion strategy.
Mhm.
Do it. Do it. Okay, seriously, people. Nobody has time for this. And everyone's in a hurry and wants to laugh. The world is sad. The world is complicated.
Mhm.
And people are in fear. We live in a very fear-driven world, unfortunately.
Mhm. And well, especially right now, after the year that we've had, masks and vaccinations and all the fear that
Mhm.
came along with the last, 13, 14 months. Because I think people are in certain areas of the United States and the world, people are still dealing with that. That fear is just kind of the undercurrent that's happening with everybody.
And people are hungry for joy.
They are. I totally agree with you on that.
They're hungry for joy. They're hungry for hope.
Mhm.
They don't want to take life too seriously. They want to smile. They want to laugh. The world is telling them to be afraid and be mad and be angry and be divided. And
Mhm.
subconsciously, people just want joy and unity again. And you can do that in 15 seconds. Okay.
Absolutely. Okay, so you heard it from Ashley.
Yeah.
Go
so
do it.
Yeah, I have over 122,000 followers, growing fast on TikTok, and I have over 51,000 followers on Instagram. And it's only because of my TikToks and Reels. And then and you're like, okay, but let me finish. And you're thinking, okay, but that's not me. I don't do that. I make quotes and I do pictures. Okay.
Mhm. Or I just love audio.
Yeah, I didn't either. And you know what? People are going to love you. People go to you and they're like, oh my gosh, I loved that reel. And they go find you and they're like, what in the world? She loves Jesus.
Yes.
She said that quote. Oh my gosh, I've got to connect with her. Oh my gosh, she does this, she does that. Just do it. Like, you're not more important than you think you are. This is
Exactly.
the Bible. We aren't as important as we think we are. Humble yourselves, open yourself up. And let me tell you something else. You're not going to grow unless you get uncomfortable. If you're
Absolutely.
uncomfortable doing it, if you are uncomfortable making a video for 15 seconds, then my advice to you is good. Do it. You're
Mhm.
supposed to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it sucks. Can I encourage people, if they're like, if
Oh,
the
please. Yes.
perfectionist, it just has to be perfect. No, people are hungry and they can smell it. They can smell when you're fake. People are hungry for real, authentic,
Yes.
real time stuff. I'm telling you, people are tired of this fake stuff.
Mhm.
People are tired of this. I'm not going to name no names, but this whole girl wash your face culture. Okay, that's toxic thinking. I'm just going to be completely honest.
Oh,
like,
it is.
that's not working for people. They
Mhm.
want to know real life. And so if you mess up, that's awesome.
Yes.
They want you to mess up. They
Mhm.
want you to be real, because then there's power in adding value to people's life. Why? Because you relate with them. And my other encouragement to you is, like, if you do it that way, people are getting away. They're getting away from Facebook. They're not just getting away from blogs. They're getting away from the perfection pictures of Instagram. People don't want that anymore. It doesn't make them feel good about themselves. It makes them feel bad about themselves. It doesn't add value to their life. It adds condemnation. So get creative, be real, get messy. Because the reality is we kind of are screwed up. I mean, like I said before, the fact that somebody had to die because of us, what does that tell you? That doesn't tell you that we're perfect.
We're the complete opposite. We are the complete opposite.
In the realm of practical, like, look up hashtags that fit your niche. My biggest hashtag this is free. You're welcome. My biggest hashtag on TikTok is moms of TikTok. Hashtag moms of TikTok. And then TikTok is going to put you in that. If that is your niche, if you're talking to moms, it's going to blow up, like it's going to be awesome. So create relatable products. Take your product, if you sell a product, and there's so many sounds out there, and be able to use it to show your product. I do it all the time. It's really not that complicated.
Yes. So you heard it here. You got all the things from Ashley. She's giving you all the tips, but I want to do some fun stuff because you're fun and I like to be fun. So let's have some fun questions to kind of get to know Ashley a little bit. So what is your favorite song right now? Do you have one?
Yes, I do have one. So I actually have a song of the year. God always leads me to a song of the year. And this one has got me on my knees. It's kind of two of them. I can only pick one, but there is two. And one is My Soul Sings. And it's by Dante Bowe. I don't know if that's the original song, the original singer. It's a Christian song.
Okay.
Christian worship song. It's My Soul Sings. Amazing. Absolutely powerful.
Okay.
Go look it up.
And so what's the other one? Because now you got me curious what the other one is.
Okay. So the second one is, because I'm not really good at names. Oh, Rest on Us. Thank you, Jesus. Rest on Us again. Upper Room sings it. I mean, it's Christian songs. Maverick City music sings it.
Yes, I love Maverick City.
Yeah, so they actually have a version.
Well, I will definitely put that in the show notes for everybody. Okay, next question. This is one of your questions on your podcast. I'm going to turn around on you.
Okay.
What is your guilty pleasure to watch on Netflix or wherever you watch it? What is it?
I have so many. I actually got done watching Cruella. I definitely recommend it. We watched it last night. But one of my guilty pleasure shows is Bridgerton.
I haven't seen it yet. I have to go watch it, huh?
You have kids, stop watching in front of your kids, especially towards the end, because it gets real juicy. It's not a Christian show, but I love it. And I'm kind of sad because the main character that was in the first season isn't going to be in the second.
I heard that. I have to start watching that. Okay, I have heard so many people talk about this show, and I love that kind of period shows, like huge fan of Downton Abbey. Love Downton Abbey. Love The Crown.
It's like a modern day royalty show. Okay.
One more question for you. So who is one of your heroes besides Jesus and why?
Dang.
I know I'm bringing the hard stuff today, huh?
Okay. So one of my heroes, oh my goodness.
Or someone that speaks to you that you're like, I want to be like her.
One of my heroes is my sister-in-law. Yeah.
That's awesome.
She truly is like an answered prayer, just such a genuine person. And I told her the other day, actually, that I wish I could just be half the woman she is. Like, she's just a great wife, and she's so good with her kids and with my kids, and she's so giving, and she genuinely just cares so much about people. So she's definitely my hero for sure. Like, I look up to her a lot. And if she ever listens to this, I just want her to know that I see her. I appreciate her. She actually has Lyme's disease. And it's a very severe case.
Bless her.
And so just to see her go through what she's went through and still she is just, it's drawing to me.
Awesome. Ashley, where can my listeners find out more information about you, how to connect with you?
Okay, so you can find me on TikTok. At Ashley Henriott. You can find me on Instagram at ashley.henriott. I have a website where I give a lot of free stuff away. I am a graphic designer in a way. And so I have some free wallpapers that you can have. And I actually have a newsletter and a Facebook group. My group is like out of the negativity, but it's called Confidence and Coffee. And it's a safe place, again, where we're real and we are funny. And it's just another way to connect with people. And if it's okay, I have something coming up in.
Sure. Yeah. Please tell us about it.
Okay, it's like a new thing I'm kind of excited about, and it has a lot to do with my book.
Fantastic. Okay, lay it on us.
So I recently partnered with Compassion International, and kids have always been a heart of mine because of my abusive childhood, and I understand the voice that they don't have. Ultimately, yes, it was the book, but it was because I wanted to stop child abuse. I truly believe that I'm going to do that. We're going to stop child abuse.
Amen.
And Compassion International reached out to me and partnered with them. And starting in July, I got to pick my country, which is in the Philippines. And it's because of a woman that I just had a relationship with there. And I knew that I was called to help in that community. And so if you guys go ahead and starting in July, get connected with me and help me sponsor some children, I have a little something going on in August. And it's an event. I'm not allowed to truly tell you.
Okay, so I won't push.
But I can say this, okay? I'm going to read a chapter of my book before anybody else sees it. We're going to make iced coffee together. We're going to make TikToks together. It's going to be amazing. So be looking out for that. And I hope that we get all the children sponsored in the world. So I'm excited about that.
So excited. You've got so much awesome stuff going on. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Truly my honor to have you on the show.
It's my honor. I'm like, yay.
And hopefully we'll have you back. We can get you back on the show when the book is launched and you can tell us all about it and share and all those kinds of other things. Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for being on the show today.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here and have fun with you. And I hope to do this again.
Now, wasn't that awesome? Oh, I love her so much. Okay. Well, that's about all the time that we have for the show this week. I want you to make sure that you tune in next week because I'm going to be talking about how to develop new podcast content ideas, how to keep the fresh ideas coming and not have to worry about it and never having to say, what should I talk about on the podcast next week? Because you're already going to know, because you're going to be working ahead, you're going to have lots and lots of ways that you can tap into creative ideas for your podcast. So as always, if you have a question for me, please email me at hello@tammymunsoncreative.com. Are you guys subscribed to the email list? If not, friend, why? Seriously, I would love for all of you to go ahead and subscribe to the email list. That's where I send out the weekly show notes for you to go directly into your inbox, as well as new things that are coming up and things that are happening in the podcast world. Go ahead and sign up at tammymunsoncreative.com. And when you sign up, you get my latest resource, which is 6 steps on how to launch a podcast. Now, to find out more about all that information, and if you wanted to get the specific notes for this show today, you can go over to tammymunsoncreative.com/episode 13. Now, ladies, I believe in you. Y'all are my heroes. I believe experience, production fatigue, and intimidating tech should not hold you back. So let's walk through this journey together to spend less time worrying about the details and more time spreading your message. I hope that you have a great day. Enjoy the 4th of July weekend. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you next Monday. Bye, y'all.